Hello, and welcome to this episode of Mandi Ki Baatein, an initiative to showcase and bring to fore the people who are building India's natural fiber ecosystem. My name is Srinivas Prakash, and I'm a Senior Director for Product and Growth here at ReshaMandi. In today's episode, we'll be looking at some of the initiatives and strategies that ReshaMandi is adopting to solve the problems faced by the B2B setup of the natural fiber ecosystem in India. Lokesh, welcome to our discussion. Let's start by understanding some of the exciting projects that you're working on at ReshaMandi.
Well, Srini, tech in ReshaMandi is buzzing. In ReshaMandi, we have multiple exciting projects across the board we work, out of which I'll take few examples. So, we are working on the enhancement of Operation Command Center, which is a central nervous system of ReshaMandi, which can support the tremendous growth of what we see at ReshaMandi.
Excellent.
And we are also working on ReshaMudra as a platform, which can integrated with external systems, and also which supports or provides
Capital
infusion for improving the sales of stakeholders. And we are also working on the next phase of ecosystem platform, which which is focused on the reducing the supply chain complexities of textile industries, and also bringing the transparency of stakeholders. Yeah, Srini. ReshaMandi's key focus has always been to create hurdles affecting the stakeholders. What are the challenges that B2Bs of natural fibers segment face?
Well, if you really look at it, the textile industry, the value chain, the supply chain of the textile industry in itself is fairly complicated, and this complication goes up many notches when you bring in the natural fiber into play, right? So if you look at the challenges, I would like to categorize the challenges into three broad categories. The first one is that of discovery. How do I build a sustainable chain of inputs for my business in this value chain is the question that is predominant. For this challenge manifests. If you want to look at the manifestation of this challenge, you can take a look at the saris that are manufactured, the Muga silks that are manufactured in Assam. Considered to be one of the best silks in the world, but has not reached its potential primarily because of the availability, the discovery of the input that are required by the weavers, the reelers there, which eventually pushes the cost to an extent that it is no longer affordable to a lot of us, right? The second challenges that I see, second set of challenges that I see is in terms of the complexity itself, right? It is a complex, value chain that is there, the supply chain that is there. So, say for example, there are about 55 to 60 stakeholders who are involved in this supply chain. A breakdown in one of these nodes has ripple effects across the board. I met with a weaver very recently who moved away from producing silk sarees, pure silk sarees, to producing artificial silk, right? And he did that because of the unpredictability of the supply chain, his inputs, his pricing. So he moved away from that. That's a loss to the industry. If somebody is moving away, that's a complexity that is there. Now, the third complexity that stems is with that of traceability or transparency, as it is called, with more and more buyers today seeking a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 traceability in what they buy. The adoption of systems and processes by the stakeholders across the value chain in a manner that can build this transparency is another challenge. Lokesh, I know you have been involved in some of the digitization efforts that we are putting across in solving some of the challenges that we just spoke about. Can you mention how we are going about this?
Well, Srini, to answer your question, our stakeholder follows a traditional way, which is complex and manual. They has an input, output, and
A process in the middle.
a process in between. And what we do is we look at their input, the process and output. We reconstruct their process and using our digital assets. For example, if you see the Weaver sales, so we have provided, so usually they use message sharing platform to share images.
The product of their sarees, okay. Huh.
Yes. So what we have done is we have we came up with a catalog system as a service, which will actually, which is more than image sharing application, which will improve their sales. Actually, for building any product, understanding the stakeholders is very important.
Correct.
So at ReshaMandi, how does we understand the pain pointers of stakeholders?
Look, as a product manager in my long career, it is part of my job to meet stakeholders in terms of doing my research but what I found different in ReshaMandi, it is this research that we're talking about is not restricted to a product team or a business team alone. So every team in ReshaMandi is required and mandated to meet all of stakeholders, and as a habit we have cultivated. We produce field reports. So what happens is when we are actually starting to look at either defining the pain points or coming up with solutions for pain points that we've identified, there is a very healthy debate and discussion that happens across teams, because what we've realized is that what we want to solve for the stakeholders, to offer our stakeholders, goes beyond what tech can provide, what a business team can provide, or what any of the support functions can provide. So there is a lot of exchange of notes that I have seen, unlike other places that I have worked for, that I see here in ReshaMandi, in order to debate, come up with optimal solutions, test them out in the market, see if it really drives value to our stakeholders, and that essentially is what I strongly believe is driven by what our tagline is, that relationships matter, right? So if you see on the ground, we're running a new model, a new way of helping our stakeholders. There are people from across boards who are there and in helping them reach and realize that value. All right, so Lokesh, now that we've spoken about a little bit of our initiatives and strategies, one thing that really fascinates me is to understand what ticks people like you to come day in and day out and work so hard for ReshaMandi.
Well, Srini, good question. I stay 12 kilometers away from office, and it takes 1 hour for me to reach office. And in these 2 years, I have never felt like it is a painful or it's a boring journey for me. So the impact, the growth, and the ownership which was given to me, that really gives me that buzz.
Well, that's a very unique way of answering that question, but I'm glad to hear that. That's a very good perspective to look at the satisfaction that you get from it. Excellent. Thank you so much, Lokesh. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this episode of Mandi Ki Baatein. We'll see you the next time.
मंडी की बातें